Champions is coming to a close this weekend, and it's already come crashing down for North American Valorant. NA teams were once heralded as the kings of Valorant, but now all anyone can hear is NA is dead, is done with, over. So let's ask the questions. What went wrong in Berlin, and is NA Valorant actually dead? All right, y'all, before we get into the video, I gotta remind you, as always, to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and to ring that notification bell. If you don't, NA's never winning anything, like ever. Just in case you've been living under a rock, North America is out of VCT champions. And for a quick recap, North America sent 3 teams to Berlin: Sentinels, C9 Blue, and Envy, and all of them fell. They didn't fall without a fight, but they all fell nonetheless. So the teams who are supposed to be the best in the world didn't even make it out of the quarterfinals. If NA Valorant was supposed to be the best coming into the tournament, then what happened? Valorant commentator and analyst Gio Collins explained a lot of people's expectations perfectly. Heading into Valorant Champions 2021, conversation around which major region, EMEA, North America, or Korea, was going to take the win was rife. NA had taken the early global lead at Masters Reykjavik, the indomitable skill of Sentinels affording them no map losses in their conquest. Sentinels lost to Crew in what was a devastating final round if you're an NA fan.
And it all comes down to this, 12-11, one team beckoning for greatness, and they're gonna flash in! No way! Capstick destroys 3 through the smoke! Heartbreak now for Sentinels, as it's all down to Dapper and Sick. Sick fighting with everything, but it is not enough, as Dapper now in the 1v3.
Flash comes through. That's not even gonna pop Pierre. Klaus ready and holding though.
Dapper, it's your time to shine right about now. It's all on you, buddy, surrounded on all fronts. It's over! It's done with! Crew against all of our expectations, against all odds, send Sentinels home!
Valorant was finally supposed to be the game NA would be the best at. We had it was Valorant, it was ours. First, the Titans of Sentinels were eliminated, then Envy were eliminated, and then the very last hope of NA, Cloud9 Blue, had the entire fate of a region resting on their shoulders.
2 detained on Liquid. The molly goes on the spike.
There's a frag grenade. Is that going to do enough, though, to slow it down? It's halfway. They need to stop this. There's the frag from Mist. They need more, though. They need more. They need more because there's a defuse. And that Team Liquid, they eliminate the North American hope in Cloud9 Blue, and Team Liquid make their way to the semi-finals, and my God, I would be afraid to be facing them. This is a team that looks destined for a grand finals here, Sean.
And so North American fans are left with the question, what happened? Why have things suddenly turned into a disaster for NA Valorant? And is it actually the disaster everyone's making it out to be? Everyone is pointing fingers at teams and players trying to figure out whose fault this is. Well, the first reason we can point to is that NA players are no longer the best or just no longer as dominant. We could simply look at how NA performed in Berlin, for example. Not only did the teams not do well, but NA just didn't play as well as they could have or even normally have. Maybe they're just worse now. Like, if you look at TenZ's average combat score in this tournament, that is not how we expect the best player in the world to play. And maybe because, like people had been suggesting on Twitter, it's because NA hasn't been putting in the work. Bro, NA is losing because these motherfuckers practice for 2 to 3 hours and stream for 8. The streaming point we cannot argue against. I actively watch these people. I wake up in the morning, watch some Hiko, then switch to some Annie, Shazam, whoever. Seems like someone is always on. But in my opinion, this isn't the most fair criticism. I do believe that it's an easy and valid one to make as what we viewers see, but it's not the most fair. Listen to Shazam.
It sucks. We were all sad, dude. I could tell it affected the guys. Everyone really cared. As much as people think we don't care, or the narrative that NA doesn't care about streams or whatever, I promise, like, I know our team tried really hard. And we felt really good about it going in. We practiced a lot. We had everything drilled, rehearsed. I did a lot of prep. We just didn't deliver.
Then there's this. NA is washed. Pink hair buff, Patty is greater than 10's NDA. You know, you make a good point. Shazam had the bleach, you just needed the pink. God damn it! Maybe, just maybe, Valorant isn't established enough as a game and regions haven't found consistency in playstyle for a largely hampered COVID environment. All jokes aside, the game has truly changed a lot since Sentinels played their way into our hearts in Iceland at Masters 2. The game is still very young and has had an incredibly tough environment to grow up in. We are reaching the end of our first World Championships. Players and orgs are still trying to find their footing in the competitive environment. Think about how far this game has come in just a year. We have a new agent that has impacted the pro meta significantly in KO and an expanded map pool with Breeze and Fracture. Not only that, but each of those two maps require teams to expand their agent pool significantly to find success. It's basically consensus in the pro community that you need to play Viper on Breeze and Breach on Fracture, and that is a lot to adjust to at the highest level. That comp changing is game changing. Compare Valorant to a game like CSGO. Yes, we're doing that, calm down. CS has been around for over a decade, and there are dozens of lineups for utility to memorize, executes to master, and strats to understand, and that's without agents or abilities. And not to be that Valorant fangirl, but I think that's what makes Valorant really, really great. So ultimately the answer to the question, is NA trash, is no. No. It is true to say that NA failed in Berlin, but it is not fair to say that NA is a failure. But we have to be sure to separate the question of, is NA dead versus what went wrong in Berlin? They are different questions. What went wrong in Berlin is that NA teams like Sentinels did not perform to our standards for them, and also the standards they set for themselves.
I know we lost, but or people are saying stuff about certain agents, but I didn't feel uncomfortable with a role on Sky. I feel like it fell apart in our communication and teamwork. We were criticized heavily during Berlin Masters 3 about playing off meta comp, not playing the meta, whatever, sticking to stuff that we used to. So then we really grinded stuff that we knew during Masters 3 that these were more meta comps and this is how we wanted to play, but we just didn't implement it in time. And we figured that through the practices leading up to Champions, we were actually really comfortable on each individual agent. We were playing tons of scrims, grinding ranked on these agents, and I don't think it was people being uncomfortable. I think that no matter the agents we played, we failed at the most basic level.
Other regions like C and LATAM played better and largely overperformed expectations. Is NA's performance something to reflect on? Yes, and players from NA agree with this. Also, if you think I'm huffing NA copium, do you see the shirt that I'm wearing? Look into my eyes and ask me about Reykjavik. How do you think I feel about NA? But don't take my word for it. I asked players who are not from the North American region what they thought about the NA is dead talk, and this is what StarXO from Ascend had to say.
Of course not. I think it's very good still. These losses doesn't really matter. One tournament they can beat us, one tournament we can beat us. It's just the race, who's better this tournament. I think they still have great potential, great players, and it's just banter between us, we're feeding each other, like in League of Legends or CSGO, whatever the game is, you just fight,
So my prescription for NA fans is just to wait, have heart and have patience. We don't know how the competitive meta will continue to evolve. We don't know how new players entering the North American region will impact the game. And we also don't know how other regions outside of North America will continue to grow. As SK Rossi put it, the beauty of losing is it tells you how bad you are and things to improve on. It tells you how close or far you are to your goals, a wake-up call. Good thing right now, what else we need as a motivation to get better. We have found more equilibrium in the Valorant scene, which makes it even more exciting because the next time these teams meet, we have no idea who's going to come out on top. And that's kind of dope.
I heard something about that for Chief against Phantoms.
We're not going to talk, Danny, we're not going to talk about it. So, okay, so I interviewed him, super awesome interview, super nice guy, and I'm pretty sure he was using the Prism Phantom skin that day. Maybe I'll find screenshots. That day when I interviewed him, he was using a Phantom skin, and I was like, oh, I like your Phantom skin. He went oh, thank you. The next day he played, and it was the Recon Phantom skin, and I was like, whoa, Dapper. Is it I don't know, and he because in my head I was like, oh, maybe he just changes his Phantom skin, TENS changes his settings, and I'm pretty sure he kept the Recon skin for the rest of the time Sentinels was in the tournament.